President Trump, heckling and taunting, tried to tear down Joseph R. Biden Jr. on Tuesday night. "China ate your lunch, Joe," he said at one point. When Mr. Trump tried to bring up the issue of Mr. Biden's troubled younger son, the Democratic nominee did what he showed up to do: try to stand above the fray and appeal directly to undecided voters exhausted by the past 4 years. His family, "We can talk about all night," Mr. Biden said. "This is not about my family or his family. It's about your family." Coming into the debate, the candidate on stage who needed a reset was Mr. Trump, not Mr. Biden, who simply needed to hold on to his polling lead and offer up a counter-model to voters. Mr. Trump, interrupting throughout the debate, appeared aggressive and assertive, at one point challenging Mr. Biden to name law enforcement groups that had endorsed his campaign. The president also claimed that Antifa would overthrow Mr. Biden. "It's hard to get a word in with this clown," Mr. Biden said. The president's performance is likely to please members of his base, who saw the entertaining, loudmouth fighter on stage whom they come out to see at rallies in the middle of a pandemic. But it was not clear that he had changed the tenor of the campaign, or made any sort of appeal to voters who are still persuadable. Mr. Biden also didn't appear overly rattled, and took opportunities to point out that the country has become weaker, sicker and more divided under Mr. Trump's leadership. "Will you shut up, man?" Mr. Biden said at one point, channeling, perhaps, the voice of a tired nation that has been tuned into the Trump show daily for 4 years. At another point, Mr. Biden called his opponent racist and Putin's puppy. But he managed to look interested in issues, rather than a slapfist. "I'd like to talk about climate change," the moderator, Chris Wallace, said, cutting off a discussion about Hunter Biden. "So would I," Mr. Biden said.